We've long sought after the perfect union of science and cooking, and we may have actually found it here. I'm here with Jeffrey Wu from Anova. What is Anova?
Well, Anova is, it used to be a scientific company selling scientific circulators, but we branched out into culinary equipment. And honestly, I've been playing around with scientific circulators ever since I was like 12, 13, 14. My dad worked at Dow and he brought some units back. But I didn't start cooking sous vide until like maybe 8 years ago.
You threw a term out there, sous vide. What is sous vide?
Sous vide is basically precision cooking. So you essentially precisely cook your food at specific temperatures. So what it does is it only cooks a certain set of proteins, leaving certain proteins uncooked and leaving certain proteins cooked. So when you think about like doing a perfect medium rare steak, right? You only want a certain set of proteins cooked, and this is what the unit does.
So that sounds really complex. The question is, how do I go about cooking sous vide? It sounds like something that's hard to do. What do I do?
It's actually super simple. All you gotta do is basically put your food in a bag and drop it into a pot with the system, and that's it. We also have a new app that's connects to our system, so you can even just beam your time and temperature settings from your app, to your unit, just with a click of a button.
So, you mentioned that I could cook steak here. What else can I cook sous vide?
You could do vegetables, you could do all types of protein, but it really shines with proteins. It's been used by every single large corporation, even like all the food you have here at the hotel. The filet that I'm pretty sure you guys got on the way in, that was all done sous vide.
So this is a great way to cook. You're saying it's simple. What about flavor? I mean, that's always a concern. It seems like, you're boiling water. That's commonly known with not preserving flavor. What happens here?
Well, so certain flavors are actually preserved because you lock everything in a bag, right? So when you cook something like in an oven or over a flame, a lot of that flavors goes up into the air, and you smell it, but it's gone. It is straight up gone. So when you lock things into a bag, you cook the meat in its own juices, you cook the vegetables in its own juices, you retain all the flavor. You can even make the au jus into a gravy, and it's so strong they have to dial it down with water.
That's fantastic. Now, the last question that I have for you here is, obviously you started with scientific circulars and you moved into the space. How did that happen? What was sort of the genesis that got you from science to food?
Oh yeah, so basically I was servicing some equipment at like MIT or Harvard because we sold a lot of stuff to them, and I saw some grad students just cooking, in a lab with a unit, and I was like, "What's this?" And I asked them about it, and I tried it back at our offices, and I liked it, so I was like, "Okay, I'll build a first system." So that came to the Nova 1. It was basically a unit that I kind of slapped everything into, and it wasn't really optimized for the home. It broke people's breaker boxes because the power draw was too big. But it was a very, very good system. But this one is the one that, we took our experience and we optimized it for our house. It could work on really small stock pots. You could cook it for yourself, or you could cook it for a family of 8. It's not just locked into a certain size of container.
Well, I know that I'm personally excited because I actually have one on the way. But I did have one sort of last question for you here. Are you aware of how popular this is online?
No, not really.
So I'm going to tell you a little story here. The reason that I found out about this is there is an online cooking community on reddit.com, and they are massive fans. And they said that this, bar none, was probably the best sous vide cooker for the price on the market. So if you had a chance to say anything to them right now, what would you say to them?
Thank you very much, and it absolutely is. I designed this unit for them, basically. All the comments that I got in, I read every single thing that's said on the forums, good and bad, and I take all that in, and I fix all the problems with our systems, and I make our units better.
That's fantastic. So I know that I personally am very excited about getting my unit, and I want to thank you for putting it together. It's something that I consider to be truly momentous.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.